North South Connection, what's up? It's your boy Ryan Gray. We're here to build you the tier maker for Money in the Bank winners. We're going to start at the 2022, head all the way back to WrestleMania 21. The lowest category, we got meh, mid, solid, and then the GOAT. The GOAT tier is a select few. So let's not waste any more time and let's get going. All right, last year, Money in the Bank, Austin Theory. I'm going meh. Not necessarily but, very close to but, much more closer to but than mid, but just meh. He had the SummerSlam running. He had the Clash at the Castle running. The Rumble segment with Roman where he's not your daddy no more. And then he loses in on a cash-in with Seth Rollins for the U.S. title. Nothing super good, nothing super mid. Not terrible, not the worst. He was entertaining, so meh. All right, again, Liv Morgan. We're going to rock with the meh category again. A little overpushed for her time being. A little kind of out of nowhere. Wasn't really built up to be what it was, but she's closer to mid than but. But I just feel like meh. It was a decent title run. Really, we're beating Ronda Rousey 2 pay-per-views in a row. It just felt forced than organic. All right, let's head back to 2021. My boy, Big E. I was there live for this, so I might be a little high for it, but I'm going straight up to solid here. He had Money in the Bank, I want to say, for June, July, and then August. So about 2.5, 3 months. Then he cashed in on September, week 2 or 3 or whatever of the NFL season. I remember that during a Monday Night Football game. Out of a whim, the family went to Boston to see the Big E. Cash in. He was successful. It was pretty electric. Is it closer to mid than GOAT? Not necessarily. I just think it's slotted here as a solid B+ regardless. His title run really started off well, and it just came crashing down and finished kind of blah. So Big E is underrated. Hopefully you get you back there soon, my man. All right, we got our first butt coming up, and it is Nikki Cross or Nikki ASH. I believe this is the first match back from the pandemic. Yeah, it was just like a fart in church. Just wasn't happening. And the next night on Raw, the Force cashed in with Charlotte. She had a memorable tables match with Charlotte when she was champion. But other than that, she had her peak. It was a flash in the pan. It just didn't click. Sorry, Nikki Ash. All right, and then after that, we're going to kind of go with another Ma, and that is Otis. Oh, yeah. It was fun. It was better than but. Very similar to Theory. I believe he lost it in the court of law where JBL was the judge, the jury, and the execution. He lost it to Miz. The Miz went on to cash it in and defeat Bobby Lashley. But Otis I just feel like he had enough fun to be in the meh category instead of the but. Even though he lost the Money in the Bank, but in a court case, not into I don't know. He was just happenstance. I feel like the pandemic kind of screwed him with the Mandy Rose moment, so they went with this the next pay-per-view, and it just, I don't know, just didn't. It felt a little forced, but I enjoyed Otis as Money in the Bank. I don't know necessarily sure I would have went with him as my pick, but also coming out of here is Asuka, and I'm gonna go straight to the mid category here with Asuka. I believe she won Money in the Bank, and the next week or two, she cashed it in. The briefcase was delivered to her. So she didn't necessarily have a match. She didn't necessarily, but she had a moment. But the reason I say it's mid is because the moment was more memorable because of Becky Lynch announcing her pregnancy, relinquishing her title for, I believe, a 14-month reign. Asuka was a part of a memorable moment, but not necessarily for her. She did a good job with her charisma and her star power shining in an empty arena. So take that as you will, but kind of mid, just because the moment was rather flat. That Money in the Bank match was kind of weird and wonky. It was fun, but I don't know. I'm just going to go mid. I don't think it's solid enough to go solid. All right, another Money in the Bank moment I was live for was Brock Lesnar, and I'm going straight solid. Honestly, he's close to the GOAT tier just because of his antics were so fun. Boombox Brock's, the legit surprise out of nowhere. In the 29 men's Money in the Bank ladder match, Sami Zayn was taken out back. So the match was going on. We're 99% through the match. Ali is climbing up the top of the ladder. He's about to grab the briefcase, and then you get Brock's epic music to a thunderous pop. I can still remember it. It gives me goosebumps watching. He comes down. He throws the ladder that's in the aisle into the stands. It's a stands or a cameraman or something. I don't know. But he goes in there. But the only thing that is kind of just weird about it, Ali was just in shock, holding the briefcase for 12 seconds. And it was just like, eh, I'm not going to nitpick. It was still a solid moment. Brock was a solid champ. He would go on to defeat Seth Rollins to end his reign at WrestleMania, get some revenge. I believe he cashed in at Extreme Rules that year at the end of the pay-per-view on a surprise cash-in. So solid, very solid. Brock was memorable for sure. And later that night was big. These women are struggling. Same night cash-ins or right away cash-ins like the next night or that month, really. So it's hard to like have fond memories of these women's cash-ins, but I would say Bailey, the reason I want to go mid here, but she's closer to solid than Matt, is because this really regenerized and focused her as a character. She did a really good job post winning Money in the Bank here, really diving into this Karen character about a few months after winning the briefcase. But I think a solid mid here is perfectly fine for Bailey. All right, 2018. Oof, Braun Strowman, just woof. But I believe he cashed in on Roman Reigns the night after SummerSlam 2018. I was at SummerSlam 2018, and he came out, and maybe it would have been more of a memorable moment if he went and cashed in at that night, and then the Shield went on to screw him and reform himself. Yeah, maybe it would have been more lasting if it happened at SummerSlam, but I understand wanting to do it at Raw. But overall, no one really wanted him to have the briefcase. He went through Kevin Owens, rather destroyed Kevin Owens and Kevin Owens went away after that. So as a big Kevin Owens fan, I wasn't really too fond of that. Just Braun in the Bank is just butt, really. But I will say Alexa Bliss, the other winner this year, I'm going solid. She's probably the most memorable woman to have this. She cashed it in the middle of a Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey match, and she just the way her charisma, the way she exuded having the briefcase in just a short time, impactful, beating a dominant champion like Ronda Rousey. Even though I believe she pinned Nia Jax or whatever, but still, just Alexa Bank. I just think Money in the Bank most out of the women, and just her vibrance and her celebration and just her star power and charisma shining through in her victory is very memorable. That's why I went solid here. All right, 2017. All right, we're going to add another one to the butt column, and that's Baron Corbin. I believe he lost to Jinder Mahal on the Tuesday before SummerSlam on a roll-up with a John Cena distraction. Just woof. Like, not wolf, not the one wolf, woof garbage. Just, no, again, very similar Strowman. Back-to-back years where Vince was like, let's make these guys give him the briefcase. Neither of them won. Neither of them really helped. The briefcase didn't really help either of them. But I don't know. This one's tough. I'm going mid with Carmella. I think she is probably the highest between. She's the first, but the whole Ellsworth thing, winning it twice, just I don't know. I just think of Alexa Bliss more, even though Carmella had it for 9 months, really? So then she would go on to cash it in the SmackDown after WrestleMania 19 or WrestleMania 18 after the Iconics debuted, but she was just never a stronger champion. Bliss was the stronger champion. That's why I want to put Bliss in the solid and Carmella in the mid. Maybe I'll change it at the end, but for right now, I think these are the 6 women that have cashed in Money in the Bank, and I think it goes Bliss, Carmella, Asuka, Bayley, Liv, and Nikki Ash in that order. So that's it for the women. It seems like we're halfway there. Let's head all the way back to 2016. And I'm going to go Dean Ambrose. Very solid. Absolutely solid. It was very cool. Roman Reigns came in to Money in the Bank as champion. Seth Rollins won the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank. And Dean Ambrose cashed in the briefcase at Money in the Bank. So this is right before the brand split in 2016. Pretty cool moment for the Shield for all 3 guys holding the WWE Championship in one night. But Ambrose's win was memorable, and his cash in was even more memorable. Ambrose would go on to become a pretty decent WWE champion. And 2016, 2017 were highlights for Dean Ambrose for sure. All right, 2015, Sheamus. 2015, Sheamus. Mid. I don't think he's meh. I think he's mid. You know, he's the typical heel Money in the Bank champion that has heat. It flirts with go away heat at the time, but I think he was a solid Money in the Bank contender. Nothing memorable, but pretty mid. The cash in was cool, where he cashed in, I believe, at the Survivor Series after Roman Reigns would go on to win that tournament to become the WWE champion finally, and then Sheamus was there to kind of cash in and ruin it, but then he would go on to lose on Raw either like 2 or 3 weeks later, I believe in Boston. I didn't go to that show though, but overall mid, not meh, not solid, just mid. All right, 2014, Boston, Massachusetts all the way to WrestleMania 31. GOAT. Absolutely GOAT. Warranted. Seth Rollins, first GOAT tier maker here for Money in the Bank winners. Hands down, arguably one of the best cash ins. Some may say controversial. I wouldn't trade that in for anything. I think the moment's electric. The only one to do it at WrestleMania. Just awesome. GOAT status for sure. All right, 2013. Solid Randy Orton. Cashing in after SummerSlam made of Daniel Bryan and John Cena. Triple H with the pedigree as he was the special referee for there. Authority starts. So this briefcase was a nice, fun way to kickstart the Authority, give Randy Orton a kick in the ass and a solid run of a year up top. So yeah, absolutely solid for sure. The same calendar year, but on the SmackDown brand, is Damian Sandow. But nope, mid. I want to, but it's meh. Sandow was a mix between Theory and Otis in a way. He was pretty fun like Otis as Money in the Bank, but he had some decent moments like Theory, like fake cashing it in. The one he lost, he had a pretty solid match against John Cena for the World Heavyweight Championship on that Monday Night Raw in like September, October. He had that leather briefcase too. So just there's enough there to go meh. Not enough to go mid, but definitely not. But I like Sandow. He kind of got screwed a little bit. Even though I don't see him as a world champ, but I think he did a good job with the briefcase. 2012, the first loss. John, I'm going mid here. He was bulletproof at the time. You know, we were in Cena mode. No shame in him being the first to lose. He lost in that memorable match or infamous match or whatever it was, but he lost by disqualification on the 1000th Raw when the Big Show came in and KO'd, I believe, maybe Punk. So it led to a three-way match, SummerSlam. So I don't know, meh, not enough, like enough not to be butt, definitely not mid, meh. But the definition of meh is John Cena's Money in the Bank, but the definition of GOAT is this cash in right here. 2012 SmackDown Championship, Dolph effing Ziggler. Night after WrestleMania 29, just absolutely epic. I still get goosebumps watching this one. Cashing in on Del Rio, GOAT S, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely, Ziggler as Money in the Bank ruled. All right, 2011. Alberto Del Dipshit, meh. Won, cashed in on CM Punk after SummerSlam. Orton's cash in on SummerSlam was much more memorable. Meh. He's not my favorite wrestler. He's pretty meh. Respectable enough not to go but meh. All right, and the other one that year is a fun one. Daniel Bryan. Solid for sure. Low key, no, yes, no, yes. Movement, some would say, really started filibustering around him getting the briefcase. He was really fun at this time. He was an extending mid carder, and he actually got up in the upper mid card, cashing in and beating on the Big Show and Mark Henry. I think at TLC 2011, he would go on to hold the championship for 4 months until he got his fucking head kicked in by Sheamus in 18 seconds, and then he totally blew up. So this briefcase was a springboard to superstardom for sure. Very solid run. Not enough, definitely not mid. Closer to GOAT, but not close enough to consider it. Solid. All right, 2010, Kane. meh. Cashed in the same night. I believe the first one to do it. So, something, respect. I'll go mid. My gut told me meh, but I'll go mid. First one to cash in on the night of winning the briefcase. He's chokeslam Rey Mysterio straight to hell, and he would go on to be the world heavyweight champion for not so memorable run. Maybe playing hot potato a little bit with Edge and the Undertaker. Mid, just based off being the first one to cash in right away. I want to say he cashed in before this next guy was even won Money in the Bank. All right, we need to update our picture here. All right, The Miz, solid, solid, solid. You know something? Respect. I'm gonna move The Miz here. I might move him to GOAT. Cashing in I want to say November 2010 on a Raw against Randy Orton. So the briefcase was still extremely valuable at this time, and the briefcase solidified him as that ascending star, and it propelled him to the main event of WrestleMania. So very solid. I'm kind of getting cold feet on putting him in the GOAT stat category, but I would say for sure solid top of the row. All right, let's organize this real quick. Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I'd probably go right there. I'm good right there. Yeah, I'm good. I'm content. I like all this. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. Yeah, I respect Cena's being the first to lose. I'm good. All right, so we're caught up. Now, let's talk about we're on the back nine here, obviously. WrestleMania. The briefcase was really made at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 21 through 26. Those shows really benefited from having the briefcase on the card for sure. But this guy, not necessarily. Swagger. Oof. I kind of want to go mid, but I'll respect it because of WrestleMania. But I'll go butt. It was a questionable decision to give him the briefcase. I actually preferred it over McIntyre at the time, but what did I know? Look at Drew now. Look at Swagger now. I was rooting for Christian. They were going to give it to McIntyre, but I settled for Swagger. He went on to cash in on the next SmackDown, so he didn't run around with the briefcase a lot. Fuck it. Mid. Mid, better than Del Rio. Want to know why it's mid? Because this briefcase brought us that fucking eagle. That eagle was over. He had a not so memorable run. I believe he would lose it at fatal four way to Rey Mysterio. I think I don't know. That's exactly 2010. He had the belt for three, maybe 4 months. But that eagle, I'm telling you, that eagle and the surprise victory, I'll go meh just because of that. All right, so this one has CM Punk once. I'm gonna go solid on CM Punk, and I'm gonna put him right in front of Orton. 2008 WrestleMania 24. I feel like Jeff Hardy was obviously going to win it, and I think they settled on Punk, but I think the briefcase helped him, but it didn't propel him. It solidified him as an upper mid Carter. And then he came back at WrestleMania 25 in 2009, and it really kind of propelled him upper as a solidifying him in the upper mid card and flirting with the main event on a consistent basis. So the Money in the Bank winner back to back years, first and only. So two successful cashes. The first one was fun on a Raw against, I want to say, Edge. And the second one was very memorable. I want to say after Extreme Rules, after, I don't know, beginning of the fall, cashing in on Jeff Hardy. He would go on to have a really good feud, so was it summer? I don't remember. Of 2009, cashing in on Jeff Hardy, going on to have a really good feud with Jeff Hardy, leading to the awesome ladder match, underrated ladder match at SummerSlam. Awesome Undertaker moment, and he would go on to lose it to Undertaker. So solid run, CM Punk both times. All right, Mr. Kennedy. It was a great idea, man. It's not, but it's better than Swagger, better than Theory. Yeah, just understood. So, here's the thing. He called the shot for the next year's WrestleMania. Would he have made it that far? Who knows? But I was super pumped when Kennedy won it. I was a Kennedy guy. I bought the hype. The Green Bay plunge, I was into it. He had a shitload of charisma. It kind of reminds me of LA Knight right now. So hopefully LA Knight it goes on to win Money in the Bank and has better luck. Kennedy had a few chances in the mid-aughts, but First being he would, he had a torn bicep here or separated shoulder, one of them, I forget. So they didn't want to wait for it. They gave the briefcase to Edge. He would go on to cash in successfully right away. And then later on, he would go on to be Mr. McMahon's son, and he would get popped for steroids and gets a 60-day suspension. So they took that away from him too. So Mr. Kennedy is a big what if. Maybe I should submit that question to Aaron and JT for what if. What if Mr. Kennedy got over and stayed over? All right, S tier. I'm going S tier, low tier S tier. Very similar to Miz, but he had the big moment. You can't take away that ECW 2006 one night stand moment. All right, here's the story. Landon was born on June 10th, 2006. My Mark ass left the hospital for June 11th, 2006. I was like, Landon's alive. He's good. I'm going home. My boy Tim's coming over. We're going to watch One Night Stand. RVD's going to win Money in the Bank. I can't miss that. I'll have the rest of Landon's life with him. But I'm going home. He'll appreciate it one day. One day. So that's fun. That's why RVD's a go. RVD was a fun Money in the Bank. Out in Chicago went absolutely nuts when he won it at WrestleMania 22. Solidified him as a main eventer, and he would, obviously we didn't know at the time, but they would go and restart ECW, and it was based off this Money in the Bank. So definitely S tier, closer to solid than solidified as a GOAT, but I think for sure it warrants it. And the next one, the innovator, Mr. Moneybank himself, Edge. Oh, man. This briefcase, he made the briefcase made him. It was a match made in heaven. Just awesome. That New Year's Revolution 2006 moment was just absolutely electric. The crowd wasn't sure what a Money in the Bank cash-in was. We didn't know we could do it without we didn't have the appetite to yearn for it unannounced. I believe we knew it was a part of the rule, but still, what an epic moment. Just unbelievable. All right, so, oh man, RVD's fourth. Ziggler's the less star, but man, that moment was fucking huge. But his title reign was short, not by his own fault. He had that awesome match with Ziggler, Del Rio, where they both flipped though. Just all right. I'm gonna stay fifth for that. Mr. Money in the Bank cash in versus the original. That's hard. That's my list, boys and girls. That was fun. That was really fun to do, guys. I want to hear your list. Let's see it in the comments. What did I fuck up? Who was I unfair to? Did I really put Theory as a meh? Yeah, my tier, guys. Let's hear yours in the comments. All right, that's it for me now, guys. Check out everything here on the NoSo Network. 3x5, the pay-per-view previews, Warzone, No Holds Bars, the drafts, Jetty's position. Check it all out, guys. Can't go wrong. And also subscribe. All right, guys. Catch you on the next one. Later.